I think it's time we got this bike on this rack and got me off of it. You guys saw in the video before where I built out this rack and attached it to the truck using the front mount hitch. And you probably saw that video before where I put the front mount hitch on the truck. But today we're gonna get this bike onto this carrier. This carrier is rated about 500 pounds and this bike is less than 300 pounds. So there isn't an issue there. The question is, can I do it by myself, one person? Watch me. Hopefully I don't drop the bike and dent the truck and break my ankle and all kinds of other crazy stuff. Let's get to it. So before we get too far into this, I know there's all those YouTube lawyers out there, or the couch lawyers out there even. I am just showing you what I'm doing and how this is working for me. I am not telling you what to do. This is all at your own risk because this stuff gets a little dangerous. So be safe out there. Always check everything. Go slower than you think you need to until you feel really confident, and then go slower than you think you need to still, because a lot of stuff can happen really quickly. I've got the bike on the front, I've got the truck, and I've got a 36-foot RV travel trailer behind the truck, so I don't go over 65. And I have not had all three of them together yet to figure out how well that works. But I'm probably still not gonna go over 65 for sure, and I might not even get above 55. Check it every so often as you go down the road, make sure you're still happy and you're still confident with it, and don't go beyond your own abilities, whatever they happen to be. Stay safe, y'all. There are two little wing nuts here on the ramp that hold the ramp to the front rack. And on the back side of the rack, there is a little spine there that keys it, lines it all up, and that's pretty nice too. This will go onto either side, which is really nice. And then there is this key here to hold it in place. I highly recommend that you use this, because the last thing you need is this ramp flipping out of the way when you're trying to get the bike on it. And then these wing nuts, I just put them back here temporarily, a couple of turns down so I don't lose them. Next thing I want to do is get out all my ratchet straps and get them lined up nice and neat here in front of the rack so that everything is easy and convenient and quick. Because once the motorcycle is up in the air on the rack, I am tied to the motorcycle and I'm only one-handed. Okay, that looks good. This bike is light enough that I can put it up there without having to power walk it up. Front brake. And right there is where I want it. Okay. See, I told you, it's a handful once it's up here. Take the microfiber cloth and put it across the back rack. Once you get this strap on, it kind of balances itself a little bit and you can be a little more relaxed. Not too much, just a little bit. Okay, like I said, a little more relaxed. Still on guard, still concerned, still paying attention. But now I've got two hands free. So this way I can go even slower, because slow is the name of the game on this thing. This side here I'm gonna take and put through the handlebars and then back into this loop up front here. That way the cloth is what's hitting the handlebars and not the metal. Rubberized metal, but metal nonetheless. Okay, now I need to hold it again because I have leaned it over onto that strap. But it's very easy to hold because now it's just leaning on my body. And I'm going to do the same thing over the handlebars with the strap and then back into itself. And give it a good old shakedown and see what I think. And that is just slopping the hitch. This guy here, I'd probably recommend you stick in the center console in the truck somewhere and always keep it in the truck or on the rack. Don't know how I feel about that going down the highway. And then once the bike is in place, this actually has quite a bit of tension, so I don't feel bad about it. Once she's on there and you've got your straps all tied down the way you want, you have these things so they're not going to fly under the truck and yank everything up underneath of you. Give it a little check. These things should be pretty firm, but you want to be mindful of not blowing out your front fork seals, and then give it a check front to back. That is hitch wobble. It'd be really nice to not have hitch wobble, but that's what that is. And then front to back isn't bad. The handlebars do move, so there's going to be some play in there. Let's take a look back here from this angle, see what we think. Make sure all this stuff moves the way you want it to move, the way you think it's going to move before you get out on the road. There we go. All right, I feel pretty good about that. And then of course what you have to say is that's not going anywhere, because otherwise it's going to go somewhere. And then there is plenty of room between the bike and the truck. Plenty of room for cooling. And because this is a small bike, it's actually not above the height of the front of the truck on the driver's side. And then this here is the view from the front of the truck. This is my cell phone holder, which is probably taking up actually more of my field of vision than the bike is. But I have a nice clear path out the front. And now I kind of know where the outer edge of the bike is. It's another foot or so in front of that far mirror over there. And I may even turn those mirrors upside down. I don't use them all that much. And if they're upside down, then I'll still be able to use them if I wanted to. And then this here is the view from the passenger side. And personally, I'm looking right to the right side of the mirrors, and I'm looking over them pretty much. And I can see all the battle scars on the mirrors already. It's only got 50 miles on it. That's Arizona desert for you. Down here you have this anti-wobble plate, the U-bolt that's going over the receiver, and the little lever action thing. After you get the bike onto the carrier, I'd go ahead and try and tighten those down a little bit more just to make sure. If you tighten them down too much, you risk breaking the bolt and the nut. So tighten them down really tight, but not too tight. If you ever tightened down a bolt before and snapped it off, you know what I'm talking about. One of the good parts about having this thing on the front of the truck is that if it does go, you're causing damage to your own bike and to your own truck, and you're going to catch it. One of the bad parts about that setup is when you do catch it, it'll probably be under the axles of your RV behind you, and that's probably not a good thing. If it is all the way on the back of your RV, I cannot state enough how much I do not recommend that you do that. There is so much polar momentum behind the rear axle and the rear bumper that the bike's just gonna flop up and down like this. Not to mention your RV has springs, but no struts. So it controls the compression, but not the rebound. And that's another thing that's gonna contribute to that thing bouncing around all over the place. RV trailers are like moving earthquakes down the road, and that's not really that much of a joke. Keep it on the front, be safe, and keep it light. If you want a heavier bike, you're gonna need a heavier, stronger carrier than this. Like I said, this bike is under 300 pounds and the carrier is 500 pounds, so plenty of headroom on there. Even when I do put some gadgets on it. Take it for a drive around the parking lot and verify that everything is good and tight. Then take it for a drive down to, say, the gas station or so, 5 miles, 10 miles or so, at a speed you think you're gonna be going at, and get comfortable with it, and then check the straps again when you get to the gas station, drive it back, hitch up your RV, and get out of Dodge. So I am in an empty parking lot of a business that is closed on Sunday, so I have all kinds of testing ability. There's a little rain gutter ditch here, and she's gonna wobble like that. So this is 15 miles an hour. And I'm not wearing my seatbelt. Screw you, government. Back up to 15. And I'll pull forward. Brake and let it get upset. I'm going to back up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to back this thing up into the parking space, and I'm going to let it kiss the curb a little bit, just so you can see her wobble. That's what she looks like. All right, now let's take her off. First thing I want to do is get this ramp secured, and that's on there good and tight. I do think that ramp adds a bunch of strength to the setup. And I came up with the front wheel, so this time I'm going to come down. Same thing. Make sure you got your pin engaged. I'm going to sit them, the wing nuts, right underneath. And then this is where it gets to be interesting. And she's going to move a little bit when I let go of this one. So I got my hand on the front brake. Yep, she wants to roll right off the front of the ramp there. All right, we are all clear, so I'm going to go down forward and see if this is any better. Probably not. Yeah. We're just sliding on the front tire. It's not bad. Not bad at all. There you go. I think she does really good out there on the front of the truck, and time will tell. Maybe I might want to upgrade to a bigger hitch because they might have a little more strength to them. But right now this is working out. I am probably $150 in for the front hitch and another $150 in for the front carrier, and then more than that for the bike. These bikes really hold their value really well, so I decided I was going to get a new one, and so far I've been having a lot of fun getting it dirty and getting it scratched up and taking it all around the desert and all kinds of crazy stuff. There are links down below for all the stuff that I showed you in the video, and if you use them, it helps out the channel and keeps things growing. There will be some more videos on the bike and the truck and the trailer and all kinds of other wonderful stuff, so make sure you are subscribed to see when they come out, and ring that bell too so you get a little notification. In the meantime, there's a video right over here I think you might enjoy next. I'll see you over there.